The longer I have to wait for jaw surgery, the more time that I have to doubt everything, like my surgeon, the costs, if it will fix my problems. And then the pain comes back and I'm reminded why I've chosen to follow this path. It's Sunday, February 1st, and my braces appointment was canceled because of the extreme weather the South has been experiencing. And so it's been rescheduled to 2 days before my 32nd birthday. Yeah, I'll finally get braces for the second time. Every delay adds more doubt. What if I choose the wrong surgeon? What if I spend 6 figures on a surgery that doesn't improve anything? What if I sound or look like someone I don't recognize anymore? But then the pain shows up again. I can't help but feel like I've regressed a little bit on this journey. And I know that that is to be expected because we're moving my teeth in the perfect position for jaw surgery, not in the perfect position for me to function without jaw surgery. And so I think it's expected to have a couple of these hiccups as I get closer and closer to jaw surgery, because my teeth are getting to a point where once we have jaw surgery, they'll be in the perfect position or the near perfect position. Some things that I've been doing to help me feel like I'm making progress is I was able to restart myofunctional therapy. And myofunctional therapy is essentially it's a physical therapy that helps to retrain the oral facial muscles. So it helps me retrain my swallowing patterns, my mouth breathing, chewing, and speaking. And it does that by correcting like tongue thrusts. It corrects mouth breathing. It corrects tongue ties and several other things. That's a lot of what I have to work on. And so what makes this more difficult is that I also have hypermobility in every single joint in my body. I haven't found a single joint where I'm not hypermobile. So during my PT exercises that I've been doing, I have to work extra hard to ensure that I'm maintaining stability in my joints. Because when you're hypermobile, what happens is your body's trying to take the path of least resistance. Like, just because I can move in extreme ways doesn't necessarily mean it's good for my body too. So like, I'm trying to think of a good example of how hypermobility affects my daily life that would make sense. I think something that my PT was talking to me about that makes sense, that helps me think about hypermobility, is like when I'm doing the plank, my body wants to naturally like overextend my elbows and rest my weight on the elbows because it's easier than if I were to use my arm strength to hold my body up. What my body is doing is you fell, so I'm relocating. So essentially what's happening when I'm doing something like a plank, my body is trying to find the path of least resistance. So I don't have a lot of muscle in my arms, and so instead we're gonna rest our body weight on our joints by hyperextending them and locking them into place so that I don't have to struggle as hard to keep my body in the same position. Just having to like relearn where the limit, like the natural limit of my joints is, so that I can better use my jaw and all of the other joints in my body, but especially my jaw because it is so related to everything else that is in my body. Like, jaw health is related to sleep, it's related to heart health, it's related to gut health, it's related to pelvic floor function, mental health. And so I don't want to go into this surgery thinking like, oh, jaw surgery is going to fix everything, because I know it's a multifaceted approach. And what makes me really nervous when it comes to a lot of surgeons is they are mostly concerned about the literal placement of the bone and the bite, which is really important. If I'm not focused on my tongue posture, my breathing habits, how I'm opening my jaw, then it's possible I could regress, or the benefits of the surgery wouldn't be as pronounced as if I had focused on those things. So that's just a sidebar, but myofunctional therapy has been really eye-opening, and I knew that it would be. I really dislike physical therapy because it makes me feel inadequate and like I have to struggle, and I'm just like not naturally good at it. But other than that, I really like physical therapy because I really love the way your body moves and how nuanced it is and how very tiny changes can help make such a large improvement. Like almost every time I leave physical therapy or even a jaw surgeon's office, I'm like, is it too late to change my career to be a physical therapist or be a jaw surgeon? Or I find the human body very fascinating, but I think this is just like one of those things that you become an armchair expert in. Like you spend so much time researching it and like trying to understand it so that you make the best decision for yourself. Yeah, that's also what I'm here for, to like share my knowledge. So the more I learn, the more I can share and help other people who are going through the same thing. After a couple of sessions with my physical therapist, I will also like switch out with a speech language pathologist who works at the same clinic. She will also help to prepare me for surgery. And so something that they are both really focused on is my ability to breathe through my nose after surgery. So once I have surgery, my mouth will be, it's not wired shut, but it's going to be banded shut with really tight bands so they can come off. But for the most part, you're going to want to have your mouth closed so that your jaw isn't moving too much so that the bone can heal. And you especially don't want to like bite down or chew at all for the first couple of weeks. When I wake up from surgery, I am very scared that I'm going to have some kind of panic attack somewhere in the weeks following surgery because I'm not going to be able to breathe through my mouth very well because I'm going to be really swollen, cut up, and just like can't open my mouth to yawn or to like gasp for air. And I'm really nervous about the air hunger and feeling like I can't be in control. And so because of that, my physical therapist is going to have me go see a well-known ENT in the area who has worked with special cases like mine before to ensure that I'm going to have enough space in my nose to be able to breathe after surgery. And up until this point, I've been told like I can't do anything about my nose until I have jaw surgery because without proper tongue posture and like mouth health, then a nose surgery could be moot. And that's also evident by the fact that I had a nose surgery when I was in high school, and that has obviously been moot. So it would be interesting to see if they said that I need to have some sort of nose surgery before I have jaw surgery. But that would also just speak to how the anatomy of my nose is also so impacted by my jaw. The roof of my mouth is incredibly vaulted. It's like very high compared to other people's roofs of their mouths. Because of that, it's pushing up into the sinus cavity, which is creating less space for my nose. So like you have all kinds of sinus structures in there that are helping you breathe and that are helping like fight infections. I don't have a ton of room to breathe because the roof of my mouth is so vaulted. But then also to add on to that, I have a huge mucosal cyst in the left side of my nose or my sinus cavity. And from the scans, it looks like it's the size of a golf ball. It's like it's taking up the entire cavity of my sinuses on the left side. And that was taken like 2 or 3 years ago, this scan. And so I'm really curious to know if that mucosal cyst has grown at all and if they're gonna want to do anything about it or just wait until the jaw surgery to have it removed. I'm hoping within the next couple of weeks I will have a little more clarity as it relates to the timeline of my jaw surgery. I'm very much a planner and I have lots of stuff that I try to schedule in advance, and this jaw surgery is making it difficult for me to commit to things that are like more than a couple of months away because I have no idea what the timeline is right now. And I would really like to have the jaw surgery before the winter time, like the next winter comes, because my seasonal depression will definitely affect my ability to heal well. That's just cutting it too close to 2027, and I would prefer to have as much of the surgery done and healing done by the end of 2026 if possible. I'm not really in control here. Anyhow, if you guys have any questions, as always, leave them down for me below. If you are interested in keeping up with my jaw journey, my jaw surgery diaries, then go ahead and subscribe. And yeah, that's all for now. I hope that you all are doing well, especially if you're in the North American region and you're dealing with these terrible snowstorms